Today is such a fun day because today we are going to create the ocean on our sky paper. The last time you were here, you created a beautiful sky. Some of your skies were blue skies with big fluffy clouds. Some of them were storm clouds, stormy skies. And some of you did similar to what I did, which was a sunset. You know, the first day of this project, we created our wave paper, and I love this paper because it looks like the waves. Now what I need to do is get this paper, these waves, onto my sky. And I want to just show you how you're going to do that. I'm going to have you push your sky paper aside, and we're going to be working with the wave paper. You know, I would like you to hold your paper horizontally. That's back and forth this way. And what you're going to do is you're going to start at one edge, and you are actually going to tear your wave paper. Now, if you really work at it, and you'll see I'm just going to tear it into strips. If you really work at it, you can actually try and tear it like into waves. It's a little tricky, but you don't want to tear it straight across so they're straight because these are waves. So you want to try and make it wave just a little bit. You can see how I've created, I did pretty good here, but not so good here. I'm going to try that again on this next one. I'm going to turn it over. Let's see if I can wave up, and then I'm going to come down a little bit. Then I'm going to wave back up. Notice how I'm kind of holding this. You find what way works best for you. But I just noticed, you know what, I did a pretty good job on that wave where I was pulling it from the side and holding it. This looks like I've got a little bit too much white. I love the white because if you've ever been to the ocean and seen these big waves, they have what's called white caps. And that is when the wave comes over and crashes, and it actually looks like white foam. The ocean creates white foam. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's see. Now this one, I had kind of messed this up a little bit. That's okay. I'm going to come back. You may need to come back and fix some of yours. That is absolutely no problem. You can always go back, especially those first ones I did weren't real great. That's okay. That's a great thing about art. If it doesn't turn out the way that you want it to turn out, you can just problem solve and figure out another way to do it. And the way I'm problem solving this is I'm coming back and just tearing off a little bit more because I know I want to create waves. Now this one I liked, but I kind of like how this has the white on it. So I'm going to do that to this one. And I'm just ripping it again, trying to make those waves. Now, once I have my waves torn out, and you want at least 3 pieces. I've got another one here. I may even want to tear some smaller waves that I add on top. You're going to see what works best for you, but you've got your whole paper here to work with. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pull my sky paper back in. I know I want my sky showing, right? But our waves are going to go on the bottom half. So I want to look here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out. Notice this is flat on the bottom, and it measures this paper perfectly. Do you see that? How I've got that? That is a really cool wave, but I want to make layers. So let me show you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take the next one. I'm going to tuck it right behind there. Ooh, I'm liking that. And I'm thinking if I have one more row. Oh, I love this. Right here. Do you see how I've just created the ocean and my sunset? Now, once I'm happy with this, what I need to do next is glue this down. Here's my advice. I hope you're listening closely. I want to start with this first one. So I'm going to take these two, kind of hold them together there, and take those off. I know I want this right here. I also know whenever I'm gluing something down, I need to put the glue on the piece of paper that I'm gluing down. So I'm going to push this out of the way. I'm going to kind of measure, okay, this is where it's going to be. I'm going to turn this over, And remember, when you're using those glue sticks, I want you to glue all around the edges. Notice where I'm putting this glue around those edges. That is super important. Then once I've got it, I'm going to come back up here to the same place. Make sure that things are lining up correctly. And I'm going to hold that down. Now, this is thick paper, so sometimes you've got to really kind of hold that down in order for it to stick. Another thing we can do once you have all your waves down is maybe put some stacks of paper on top or something like that. If you notice some things keep coming off, you can add a little bit more glue there and glue that down. I'm going to go to the next level, which is right here. Let me just kind of see that. Okay. I'm going to put my glue around the edge. You really got to get those edges. And this time I'm even going to put a little bit more inside to ensure that it really glues down nicely. Remember, I'm making different waves in 3 levels of waves that I'm going to glue on top of each other. I'm going to do this last one. And again, we may need to set something heavy on top of it to keep all those waves glued down. This is going to be really important that I get everything glued down, and I do that upside down test. That's where I hold my project upside down and check to make sure everything's glued down completely. So, I want you to notice something. Right here at the bottom, I don't want any of this paint showing. See the yellow? I want to make sure I go right to the corner and I cover that up, because this down here, this is the waves. This is not the sky. So you want to make sure that you've got that completely covered. You want to check that. If you need to have a friend next to you check that, they can check that. All right? This is how we're going to create our waves on the sky. Have a great time.